What are we going to discuss in this episode? Let me tell you what we will discuss. We have a lot to discuss. We will discuss the pricing as they stand right now. We will discuss Bitcoin's impending breakthrough of 100,000. Don't worry, we will review my predictions from last night even though we are currently discussing them. Because I've been so damned accurate, everyone has my words on file. We will discuss the addition of 500 banks to the back end of their network and Ripple. Absolutely, you heard accurately. We have a lot of work ahead of us, and tonight is a doubleheader. I adore seeing it. So without further ado, take a seat back, unwind, and let's get started. Bitcoin is up 4.49%, that's right, $98,000 and $55,000 in the last day. Ethereum is up 6.43% at $3,298. Both USDT and USDC are at their dollar pegs, and XRP is, well, chugging along, kind of stuck in the mud, waiting for its next breakout to that $1.50 to $1.75 level, which is coming soon. I believe I've said that before, but I'll say it again. The total market capitalization of cryptocurrencies is $3,260 billion. Now, people, where are we going from here? I'm sorry, but I was reading something about Ethereum, and I made a prediction last night when Ethereum was around 3,000. I told you that Ethereum was going to go on an absolute ripper, and now that it is up 6%, XRP is going to make its breakout. Where's Chainlink? It's very, very obvious to me that XRP will reach 100K, and it will break 100K. Chainlink recently made a big announcement yesterday about what they want to do with Swift, and it will also blow up. Many people now attend the shows and ask me, Rip, if I have very little money and want to take a chance or bet, what kind of cryptocurrency is ideal for me to invest in? It's a very easy answer at that point because what you are looking for is something that has a super low supply, right? The lower the supply, the higher it can go, the more potential that can go. I talked about two assets yesterday on the show that I want you to pay attention to, and I'm going to be covering these assets a lot and getting into them. You're hearing it here from me first. First one, keep sent over. It is called Ideology. It goes by the ticker of IDEA, right now chart. Doesn't look great, but that's what we want. We want a crypto that has a low cap. Chart doesn't look great because remember this is a bull cycle. What happens in a bull cycle? Everything goes up. A lot of people were kicking and screaming and yelling at me saying HBAR looks like trash, and I was kicking and screaming back saying HBAR is about to make a massive move. This was around 5 cents. We know how this story ends. It ran up and printed a 3x and it's not done. It's about to go even higher. So this is what we're looking at. This thing is on KuCoin, Gate.io and Mac, right? It's currently trading at 0.0007, insert number, super cheap. I'm not saying dump a crap ton of money into this thing. What I am saying is the potential here for a little bit of money in the gains outweighs anything, and I told everyone last night, I'm very transparent. We're staring at this chart on the screen, okay, if we get to this 10-cent zone on IDEA, it's called Ideology, it's built out on ERC20, I dropped $1,000 into it. When this chart breaks out, it's a matter of when and it gets back to its old stomping grounds. My 1,000 will turn into $250,000. So now when I look at these things, right, I weigh the worst case and the best case. Worst case, I lose $1,000. Not even I have a stop loss. Worst case, I lose $300, $400. Best case scenario, I can make $250,000 off of $1,000. Even if that $1,000 turns into $50,000, I do a 50x. Folks, it's a massive, massive win. The one I mentioned, Deluxe Network, TLN, is currently trading at 3 cents. There are only 500 million. The games are beginning to be released this month. There are reports that additional exchange listings and DEX listings are on the horizon. What do you suppose happens when the supply is so limited and only roughly 1.5 million tokens are in use right now? It will simply cost a few $1,000s to raise this price right now to do 3 or 4 times. It will completely blow up, and you get fair warnings now because you know that RIP's predictions are typically accurate, people. According to John Deaton, I questioned a financial advisor 4 years ago why he wasn't suggesting that clients invest 1 to 5% of their net worth in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, he said, was fool's gold or stupid online money. I informed him that he was committing malpractice. He instructed me to stick on your ASPO's case or sue the SEC and leave the financial matters to us, experts, when FTX blew up 2 years ago. There were shots, huh? He said, you deserve to lose to send in a warrant because you're a blunder, stupid, or insane, after I revealed that more than 80% of my net wealth was in Bitcoin. I told him 4 months ago that Bitcoin would reach over $100,000 before Donald Trump took office and that he would win. He chuckled. I just got a call from him. He paid $94,500 for Bitcoin. That's correct, people. Fantastic story, true story. We are aware that this story always ends. After making fun of you, they knock on your door and ask how they can enter and make a purchase. His token, which was worth $51 million, is now worth $4 million. I believe that he was used as an example. Everyone began purchasing it, and they used this child as an example. But what do you know? Folks, I promise that this child will have someone knocking on his door, so he will have to learn the hard way. I promise. Digital Perspectives is now reacting to this. Yes, Ripple has confirmed themselves, said Smoke Dog. They have more than 500 partners. This number is correct. 500 Ripple partners. By now, there are many more than 500. We realize it's much more than that, but this is kind of old news. This is coming out now. This is a video. I'll watch it. No sound is audible. An ID from the bank could be used. For all Australian banks, Ripple added more than 500 bank IDs to the back-end documentation. This is due to a reason. It wasn't a discussion, if you will. There was a conversation. That's a more appropriate way to phrase this. There was a conversation yesterday about how meaningless this is. I added, of course, it means something, to the conversation. They then attempted to utilize analogies such as the post office, the phone book on your cell phone, or an email. You have hundreds of emails, but you're not going to use them, they say. I said, correct. To use them, I have hundreds of emails. The same thing applies. There could be hundreds of numbers on my cell phone if I were to check inside. I have included those numbers since I intend to interact with them at some point. Not all of the random cell phone numbers I have on my phone are there because I will never use them. Correct? Therefore, Ripple has taken the trouble to update their back-end docs to include all 500 of these banking IDs for a reason. Will they possibly utilize some of them beforehand? Perhaps they won't use any of them initially. Perhaps they will use them all at once. However, the reason for adding these bank numbers is that they intend to communicate with them at some point. Similar to how I don't just type random numbers into my phone, they are merely adding things to add things in. I'm entering people's phone numbers because I intend to use them eventually. I wouldn't enter that number if I wasn't going to use it. It's quite easy. And the best part about all of this Bitcoin is that Ethereum is booming, with 100,000 expected before the month is done. As we discussed when we called yesterday, it was on the verge of happening and is currently up more than 7%. At the moment, XRP is somewhat mired in the mud. But it's going to happen. Take note of it. All right. Above $1 is what we are holding. We are currently holding above the crucial level that we discussed. Exciting days are coming. Everyone, focus. Focus. You don't need to be cute right now.